This time a new portrait painting. I'm using a bit bigger paper and also masking fluid to reserve the highlights. I'm using tube colors to mix a bit more color at a time, so I'm starting with quite a bit puddle to do the whole paper with this blue background color. I will be going through the whole paper because I want to tint the portrait as well with this blue tone underpainting, and I'm not doing any additional details after this stage to the background, so I'm keeping it quite simple. The main focus will be on the portrait and the other details you will see later. Here I also still lifted a bit of the color away from the face. It was still wet, so I could be just taking it off with the moist brush. Then I'm mixing the skin color. I'm starting with a more orange hued color mix, and then I will be adding a bit more reddish color and then also a bit more purple or bluish variation as well. I'm doing quite a lot of wet on wet around the face, so I'm adding first a layer of water and letting it sink in for a while, and then I'm starting painting around the face and adding a bit more color around the edges. And then I also can clean with a clean brush some of the color I added there. And then once the face was dry, I colored the torso similarly. You can see under the chin that the torso was still a bit moist when I started adding the additional layers to the face, so that's why the color started bleeding to the torso area. That is why I wanted to wait for the face to dry before I start painting the torso, because I didn't want the colors to start bleeding outwards to the face. Then I'm doing next the darkest color of the painting, the hair, so then I can evaluate how much darker do I want the values to go in the face. I am also already doing quite stronger color layers than I usually do for a fair skin, but then also I wanted to ensure that I'm not going overboard with the dark details in the face either. From here onwards I'm basically refining the face, so adding a bit more color layers and darker details here and there. This painting was inspired by a recent movie, which I haven't actually seen yet, but I have seen quite a few images of the movie, and I was inspired to do a portrait painting of the female character, kind of combination of a multiple different photos. We are closing on to the final details, so me doing the darkest darks around the face, refining some edges with a bit more darker values, doing some cleanup and blending still, and then adding the final details that I had planned for the face, and then the mysterious hand.